The Scarecrow who couldn't scare in the middle of a giant, moonlit cornfield stood a Scarecrow named Patch. Patch was a magnificent Scarecrow. He had a burlap sack head, bright button eyes, and a suit stuffed with the finest, sweetest-smelling hay. He had one job: to scare the crows. There was only one problem. Patch couldn't scare anything. The crows didn't fly away from him. They perched on his shoulders and told him jokes. The field mice napped in his pockets. Even the grasshoppers liked to play music on his straw hat. Patch was just too friendly. Oh, fiddle-deed! Patch sighed to his best friend, a tiny orange bat named Pip, who was hanging upside down from his sleeve. Tonight is Halloween. The one night I'm supposed to be scary. All the children are coming to the farmer's hayride tonight. If I can't even scare a crow, how will I ever be a good Halloween decoration? Pip the bat squeaked. Maybe you're trying too hard, Patch. You don't need to be scary. You just need to be surprising. Surprising, Patch repeated, confused. Exactly. Just do something they don't expect. Before Patch could ask what he meant, they heard the rumble of a tractor and the sound of children laughing. The Halloween hayride was approaching. They're coming. Patch squeaked, trying to stand up extra straight and hold his arms out in a scary pose. Boo! I am very frightening. Boo! A crow on his shoulder cawed, which sounded suspiciously like a laugh. The tractor, filled with kids dressed as superheroes, ghosts, and witches, pulled up at the edge of the field. "Ill look," shouted a little girl dressed as a pumpkin, a scarecrow. "Let's go say hi." The children all hopped off the wagon and ran toward Patch. "Oh, they're not scared at all," Patch whispered to Pip. "I'm a failure. Do something surprising." Pip squeaked, and with a flap, he flew off Patch's arm and hid inside Patch's hay-stuffed shirt. The children gathered around. "Hello, Mr. Scarecrow," said a small boy dressed as a knight. He reached out and tapped Patch's button eye. "Your costume is funny." Patch didn't know what to do. He just stood very still. Then he felt a tickle. Pip was wiggling around inside his hay. Patch tried to hold it in. The tickle got worse. The children stared. "Did he just giggle?" whispered the pumpkin girl. Pip the bat suddenly poked his head out of Patch's collar and squeaked. Boo! Right in Patch's ear. That did it. Aha! Ha ha! Patch burst out laughing. It was a loud, rusty, hay-filled laugh. He laughed so hard that his hat fell off and he wobbled on his wooden post. Ah-hee-hee-hoo. The sudden, loud laugh from the statue made all the children jump back in surprise. "Whoa!" shouted the knight. It laughed," screamed the pumpkin girl. Then, seeing the friendly smile stitched on Patch's face and the tiny bat giggling on his shoulder, the children started to laugh too. That was the best spook ever. The knight cheered. "Do it again. Laugh again, Mr. Scarecrow." Patch, realizing he had finally scared someone, or at least surprised them, puffed out his chest with pride. He and Pip spent the rest of the night telling jokes, laughing, and sharing candy with their new friends. Patch learned that he didn't need to be scary to be a perfect part of Halloween. He just needed to be himself, friendly, giggling, surprising Scarecrow.